Boom shakalaka, Bitcoin looks absolutely disgusting right now. People are panicking, charts are screaming, and some are calling for a final capitulation. But here's the crazy part. Every time Bitcoin has looked this bad, we were way closer to the end than the beginning. So the real question is, are we cooked or are we about to cook? Let's break this down. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, we have only ever seen this setup once before in Bitcoin's history before absolutely massive parabolic price explosions. And yet, many are calling for a price capitulation. What's going to happen? We're going to get into all of that today. Before we do, like the video, join us on Twitter at Crypto Love, and of course, subscribe to the OG Bitcoin and Crypto YouTube channel, making videos longer than everybody else. Now, today, we see Bitcoin bear flag target ahead, getting close. Those who respected the cycle will reload soon. Super cycle believers will be left watching. Taking a look at this bear flag right here, target 53.5. And right now, as price continues to fall, the bad news continues to accumulate. It is ugly right now, really ugly. The FTX blowup was better than this, according to Timothy Peterson. I was here for the FTX blowup. It was pretty disgusting. Doesn't feel that bad yet, at least personally, but we're getting close. And if we take a look at bear market seasonality, ooh, look at this. Terrible so far. We should have gone the other direction, but it just continues to go down. Bitcoin took one of the biggest corrections this cycle, 50% from the peak. The LA wave oscillator down here on the bottom has also started printing big red bars, similar to what we've seen at the start of previous bear markets down here, 2022, 2023. Could we have another capitulation type event? Right now, every Bitcoin cycle bottom has happened 15% below its long-term holder realized price. Right now, that's sitting around $40,300. A 15% dip would mean Bitcoin will bottom around $34,500. Could we go that low? I've been talking about $45,000 because that seemed somewhat reasonable from where we were recently. But we have more bad news for Bitcoin. And don't worry, don't do anything crazy yet. Definitely stay tuned till the end of the video because there's some very interesting charts that you need to see. But these are all the sky is falling, capitulation, end of the world scenarios that always pump out as the price is going down. These people are completely silent as the price is going up. So right now, Bitcoin is under the green band of the Mayer multiple Z-score, right down here, usually reserved for deep bear market corrections. You can see this only happened. It pinned all these green dots previously. These were pretty much the deepest of corrections. Now, it can still take months before finding a bottom, but Bitcoin in a period in history typically reserved for the darkest days of bear markets. That's right. We're pretty much in the darkest days of the bear market right now. Kind of happened soon. Based on the power law quantile model, support is strong about 0.5. You can't see it too well. Here, right now, we're about 0.14. So again, could have a little bit further to go. But again, you have the sky is falling, calling for major capitulation. And it certainly could happen. I'm not one to say that it couldn't happen because basically the market stays irrational longer than you can stay solvent or something like that. Things go crazy because everybody's selling and then that causes more panic selling. And eventually once everything's sold to the smart money, that's when things take off again. Now, final capitulation still ahead. Warned you right before the last huge dump, but people ignored it. Will you listen this time? And if it doesn't dump, will he say wrong? No, probably not because nobody looks at this stuff. We just pump out more content. That's how it works here. Now, we've taken a look at a lot of the bad scenarios for Bitcoin, and it certainly could happen. I mean, $30,000 to $45,000, certainly in the works. Could go down lower. May have found a bottom, $69,000. Let's hope, because hey, that's my favorite number. But if we take a look here, Bitcoin prices are now trading roughly around where production costs are. The black line here is production costs. The other lines, the green and the red, that's Bitcoin. You know that or you wouldn't be here. Now, that's a very healthy situation for commodity, and commodity traders are happy buying at these levels. Take a look. Bitcoin does not long stay below production costs. As a matter of fact, the last time that they were below production costs was the COVID crash. So based on this, you would expect them not to stay that low for long. Furthermore, we also have a green dot printing on the Mayer multiple at 1.5 standard deviations below its 200-day moving average in all market conditions. For the entire history of Bitcoin, only 2% of days are lower. That's pretty good. That means that 98% of days are higher. So, based on this, it appears like we would be towards the bottoms. This was at, again, the COVID crash and also at the bottom of 2022, which brings us to a couple parallels. Gold has been ripping recently. However, if you see in right here, this has a giant wick on this last candle, and then look at the new one, teeny. Could be gold changing direction. Now we know that gold precedes Bitcoin. Gold goes on a tear, and then afterwards, Bitcoin goes on a tear. You can see the same thing right here. Gold was on a tear, and then afterwards, Bitcoin went on a tear. However, these aren't the same time frame, so that doesn't count. But we do know that when gold takes off, it eventually stops, and then Bitcoin takes off. If gold is pausing, if it's reached its top, well, Bitcoin could be next. And also, we have this ascending wedge right here. If we have a breakout similar to gold, well, Bitcoin would be the next to break out. Not only that, but if we take a look at the Russell 200, the Bitcoin monthly and the Russell 200 monthly with Bollinger Bands shown, very similar setup. You can see bouncing, or at least touching the bottom Bollinger Band. Could we have a nice, healthy rally for Bitcoin? Well, take a look at these three charts because these are very, very interesting. Draw your line. Where are we in 4 years? This is the Bitcoin power curve cycle cloud. The red right now is Bitcoin price. The gray line is power curve support down here on the bottom. These dashed gray lines are 1 to 5 years ahead. And we have the 4-year cycle max min in this blue cloud, and the center of it, the 4-year cycle mean. Now, taking a look, we are way below the mean right now. As a matter of fact, at the power curve support. So if this power curve does actually hold, and we haven't invalidated the complete model having some crazy type of alpha decay, well, then guess what? We would be due for some massive gains for Bitcoin. And take a look at this. Within 2027, mid-2027, the power curve support is at $100,000. Still well above where Bitcoin price is right now. And that's the power curve support, because should we reach those levels, that's approaching $1 million by 2030. So things could be getting pretty extraordinary there. We also have, not saying that Bitcoin can't go down to $38,000, which would be a 75% drawdown standard bear market bottom. Again, that's like what we've seen historically in previous bear markets. But yesterday, over 10 million Bitcoin were sitting at a loss, peak bear market levels. This takes a look at the total supply and loss here in orange. And take a look, previous bear market bottoms. Only 1, 2, 3 times has it been higher than we are right now. As a matter of fact, the bottom in 2015 did not even reach the levels that we're seeing today. So while it still could go a little bit more down, it's looking like we are very, very close to bottom territory. So many metrics have identified a near bottom, supply and profit, MVRV, et cetera, et cetera. Wouldn't put a weight on any single one, but this does suggest that we are very sharply approaching a bottom. And if we take a look at Bitcoin with the business cycle, this chart just might blow your mind because, hey, something big is about to happen. It's time once again for Bitcoin's 2-week RSI channel. The green circles are peak oversold bottoms. You can see these down here. The red arrows are max potential energy at business cycle lows. You can see the business cycle is at the lowest it's ever been. Now, if we plot all of those on the line, the red arrows and the green circles for Bitcoin's history, there's only 2 times in history that something has happened like this. This is the second time. The time before this was the COVID bottom, before Bitcoin went from $3,000 to $69,000. Could we be in for like a 23x from here? Could you even imagine? Well, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, like the video, join us on Twitter at @TheCryptoLove. And of course, subscribe to this channel and check out our shorts. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
Boom. Shakalaka.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.